And somebody also had a Baby Roshan right behind it.
That's right.
Yeah, what a cool draft this is going to be. I'm really curious to see this carry Bloodseeker from Ghost. He is very good at this hero. I remember seeing it in the past, but hasn't been too popular in 738. However, with the old blood, which he has chosen, see what's the cast range on this.
They said 400.
Yep,
believe
that is indeed what it is. An 8-second silence that gives 60% attack speed, and you lose, or 60 attack speed, and you lose 1.4% of your max health per second if you take the. Let me see. This is based on a talent.
You can do it, Cinderin.
Yep. Oh, you can upgrade it at level 20 to take less damage yourself or allies if you give them the Blood Rage. That's where it is. Okay. So, yeah, interesting in theory. They mentioned in the lane itself that Silencer does more damage to silenced targets because GH has taken Suffer in Silence. So if Ghost casts Blood Rage on an enemy, GH will hit harder, but of course you are giving them attack speed. Yeah. But you're also dealing some damage. It's very interesting to see this dynamic.
Yeah, very cool.
They're going to go for first blood.
They're going to use it right away onto the Darkseer with the snowball to follow. He is silenced a long-ass time, and that's going to be first blood for GH, as Yamich will take out a courier.
Last words.
I think there's a world where Yamich stays here and tries to pull this off again. Jokem is already getting busy with pulling the wave, but
blood grenade
another blood
down.
grenade.
Yeah, he's in a bit of trouble here.
He's dead. Or
attempting the TP. He should be able to get out, although he goes to the tower.
Yeah. Okay, he will live.
Very little HP.
Could have maybe been dead if Yamich held his snowball for longer, if they could have somehow caught up.
And we were casting Yamich, I believe it was yesterday on the Tusk. He was very good. I think it was in a loss, but still very good performance from him. We really like him on the melee fours.
Yep.
So far in this tournament. What do you think about the Terrorblade?
I think it's inspiring. I'm so happy we finally get to see
Last word. It's gonna be enough damage. Pops the Fairy Fire. Another right click will come, and he's gonna tick out. Although the innate kicks in, and the chicken will help him survive.
Yeah. Foul play is a 2-minute cooldown, so if they pull that off again, he will die.
I hope we get to a point. Everybody's talking about these silences stacking and whatnot, but I want to see the rupture into a walrus kick. Those are always fun.
They actually have some pretty cool combos here. It's very interesting. I haven't talked so much about the mid lane yet. Sumail will be playing Puck against the Storm of Mikoto, so these players on some of their absolute best heroes. This is a matchup that Storm generally really dislikes because as soon as Puck hits level 6, there's a silence and a stun. Ghost should be okay here. Big pressure, though.
And this is despite getting the first blood for GH, obviously, but WS going to continue to chase Ghost, but Jokem will follow suit as well. Ghost kind of in a precarious spot. Actually loses a little bit of XP there. Range creep way out of range, so does suffer a bit.
Rare scenario where GH hits both couriers but kills none of them. Gets one swing on each. They will escape.
I mean, Darkseer Rasa does seem like a pretty good lane for harassing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Especially against a melee.
Bloodseeker is a pretty vulnerable hero very early on, but once Ghost gets some more levels, this could get very interesting. Especially, of course, level 6. Just rupture the Darkseer and he has to TP out. Now, you're not playing with a stun in your lane, so TPing away is always going to be an option for the Flipster Talon side down bottom until a Puck or a Tusk, well, or a Centaur. So rather, any of the other heroes get involved in a rotation.
Yeah, uses the Blood Rage onto the Shadow Shaman. You can see it's a lot of damage. Blood Right, not going to hit, though.
This does crazy damage, this together with the Silencer Curse, level 2. It really chunked away at him.
Jokem looking to get aggressive despite not having much HP right now. Always have to worry about Thirst, of course, for Ghost. But so far, he is bottom of the CS for his team on the core side as Bloodright actually will hit 2. GH, though, can take the brunt of the damage with this Ion Shell into the vacuum. It'll be a trade of supports.
I think
so he'll get a courier, too. They had a Ring of Health on it. That's very big.
That's actually super important here. This is, I would say, overall a good trade for Nigma because GH was running out of mana. And if he just wants to come back to lane, have a full pool of resources so they can synergize between the Blood Rage and the Curse. And now that WS doesn't have the Ring of Health, this harassment is going to hurt him badly.
Oh, yeah.
He might be dead to this, actually.
Yeah, that is the Arcane Curse with the Blood Rage. Last word connects. Ooh.
My
TP's away in time.
He chose not to stick before TPing. He insta-sticked after arriving at the tower.
What is he going to do now? He has no courier.
Yeah, that was...
This is really bad for Talon in this lane.
This is actually so much worse than TPing to base, unless he can farm stacks. Of course, Darkseer pretty good at this, but he is being spotted doing this because of Thirst.
He's about to hit level 4, so he's going to get an injection of HP from the innate.
And then he will be... he's already now no longer visible to the Nigma heroes.
Just needs one creep there, and there we go. Half HP is top lane. Oh, they actually turned this around as a 23 Savage. Noob dies after the fact, so gets the better of that exchange. Either way, getting a 1 for a 3 is good news for NGX again. So that's 2 lanes going relatively well. I mean, top CS, though, in the game is 23 Savage on that terribly. Not a huge surprise. Mid lane, a wash. Pretty even. No. Still has not gone back to base.
This is a puck favored matchup as we talked about, so Mail, when rotations start happening, this should be advantage puck for a long time until Storm gets BKB.
Well, the bigger deal is that, okay, he just hit 6 now.
I might still choose to dive for him. Coil available. Not going
It's going to be tough.
Good read from Mikoto there on the rotation.
GH spotted by Jokam, and that's going to be a shackle into a zip from Mikoto. Nice kill for the mid laner on the Talon side.
Find the D ward too.
So you think Sumail should have won this lane a little harder? I mean, it was pretty damn even.
No, not really.
Noob with the hoof stomp. Tag team applied. 23 Savage is more than fine as Cuckoo jumps in and Jokam makes his rotation over as well. Ice Shard isolates. And that's actually enough to break this fight up.
The puck versus Storm matchup, I don't think it's like heavily puck favored in lane. It's more in the overall flow of the game. So should Sumail have won this harder? I don't really think so. I think Storm will always get stuff against...
Oh, they got the Bloodright coming. It's not really... Oh, it will clip 1. The support Mirana.
So much damage.
She's ticking away slowly to that Arcane Curse. Is she dead?
Yeah. She's actually just going to...
Trying to deny, but it is not to be. GH. Another kill goes his way. He has 2 brain drains.
Of course, you are guaranteed to get the int if you get the killing blow, regardless of range.
Yeah. That would feel pretty bad otherwise.
I think it used to work that way.
And it felt pretty bad.
How would you know? You were only playing Centaur.
That's true.
And then they introduced Pango and you were like, oh my god, I can't believe I have 2 heroes. And then the Lifestealer became playable.
No, I always liked Nakes in Dota 1, to be fair. That was one of my main heroes.
Did you play the original Lifestealer, the one that had avatars as ulti? The like 20-second BKB? And then he had a passive poison attack?
No. No, I never played
that. Was notoriously ridiculous. That was so stupid.
Yeah, I wish I had started Dota 6 months prior to when I did, because I think a lot of that stuff was around that time.
Yeah. Dota definitely had a phase in 2003, 2004.
Like the Ricky Ward.
Things were horribly imbalanced. And then over time...
Then again, if I had played 6 months prior, or a year prior, maybe I wouldn't have liked the game.
Perhaps, yeah. I mean, I think, so the way I remember this is we had the very early Dota with, and then...
hold that thought, Slenderman. Rupture onto WS. He's just going to stand there.
Oh, he's not
as Sumail makes his way over, he knows he's dead. Sumail gets credit for that one.
So we had the early Dota made by Yule, and then Ginsu took over, and then he went somewhere that shall not be uttered here, and then Ice Frog took over, right?
Dire are scanning.
That's right.
And the way I remember it is that Yuel's version had some of the original Dota 1 designs are actually still almost the exact same. Heroes like Leshrac have barely been changed.
And Lion.
In concept.
Noob,
Yeah,
half HP. He's going to get the hoof stomp
if he wants to get out here, I think.
Reflection will slow him. Arrow hits. As the rest of the team comes in, Yamich is going to take the Sunder, but they're going to try to turn this around onto the Terror Blade, but he's doing most of the damage right now. Eventually does fall. Noob barely gets away with a trickle of HP. So 1-for-1. So far, favor goes to NGX. Yeah. 23 Savage, I mean, that's a couple deaths now. This is exactly what you need to happen against the Terror Blade.
Exactly what you need to happen to brighten your day. Just watch Terror Blade die a couple times.
That's right.
It's a net positive for the world if 23 Savage has a bad game here.
Stop hitting yourself.
We're, of course, never actively cheering against a player. We're just cheering against a hero.
That's correct.
And Terror Blade is a hero that's very hard to cheer for.
Yes.
I wonder how big a percentage of the audience are watching and like, oh, I love Terror Blade. I'm so happy we get to see it again.
Yeah, it's really strange, isn't it?
Cool. He is dead.
Ooh, close
Tag
one, though.
team. It's hard.
7-4 advantage for NGX. Only a 1K network lead.
I'm very curious when this game ends to see Silencer's damage numbers. I feel like you're doing a lot. With this Curse plus Bloodseeker lane, and then later in the game, if you get like, let's say you get a 2 or 3 hero Arcane Curse and then you global.
Yeah, it's possible
more
that we...
meaningful than I thought it was going to be so far.
Yeah, it's possible we underrated this facet.
Yeah.
It's just the other one was broken, in all honesty. That was so insanely good.
But I'm sure we both agree that this is more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because the other design was more like, okay, we have to make Silencer viable somehow, but by design it was not very interesting.
I would argue the irresistible one they could have kept. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I think that's also interesting. It's just you never saw it. Like, if you want to turn into a carry Silencer, that would theoretically be pretty good. Against certain lineups, of course. As we have a smoke now from NGX, along with Talon. WS again gets ruptured, and again will die. Makoto coming in, though. Has the damage rune activated. Applying some pressure to Yamich, but there's the coil and the global used in conjunction.
Not the best layering.
Nope.
Bit of miscommunication.
They're going to continue on with that Moonlight Shadow. They are not aware. Sumail, Illusory Orb, should be able to get out.
Oh, clean disengage.
Can they find any stragglers?
Now.
Yamich, he'll be pulled in. That'll be one.
Just that singular kill is...
Yeah, not much mana on Makoto, though, to continue.
That's honestly not that great for Talon. This was such a big commitment. They brought 5 heroes down here. Darkseer died first. Sure, you're going to get the tower eventually with the Serpent Wards, but in the meantime, Noob as well as GH were farming, although GH will be caught by a very nice wall here from WS. Stampede.
Yep, the classic Stampede. And Cuckoo needs a Miracle Arrow, won't even bother. There's an Arcane Rune, though. If Makoto can get here in time.
Yeah, they're going to do their best to,
Cuckoo just takes it.
Yeah. Law and Order. Noob will take the top tower very soon. 4 points into return will get the job done. Retaliate, as it's called now. Guess I'm getting into old Dota brain now with the conversation we just had. Do you remember Centaur's old ulti, Shannon?
Of course, great fortitude.
Yeah, there you go.
45
very
strength.
Boring ability.
It was still my favorite hero. 45 strength. Imagine that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The original version, I think, was 12, 24, 36 even. So it was even worse. But those numbers now sound so pitiful. Having an ulti level 6, you get 12 strength. But Dota back then, the numbers in general were a lot lower for everything. GPM, number of creeps on the map, player skill, scaling of items.
Power creep is real. So.
Yeah, it's... I think, honestly, it would be a fun thing to see, especially the young players, like, let's say, the Satanics, for example. Have them play Dota... have them boot up Dota 1 from 2005 and have them play a game.
They would be so bored.
And see what they think.
I actually played Dota 1 not too long ago.
Yeah, but you played the newest patch, right?
Yeah.
In Dota 1.
Yeah.
It's still...
23 Savage, he's ruptured. Moonlight Shadow to try to save him here. The Global Silence on top of the Blood Right. He is done.
Much damage. Yeah, they're trying for a counterplay here. Darkseer plus Mirana, not the best chasing combo.
Talon just haven't really been able to put anything together so far.
No. Their lineup is very heavily reliant on Makoto. But the problem is Makoto is playing Storm against Puck, so he's less willing than usual to play aggressively. The counterplays are just very strong, and as the panel talked about, he's playing into like 3 different silences.
Oh, arrow. Ooh, Sumail dodges at the last moment. They get the leash on top of the Storm Spirit as well, and here comes Noob, along with the punch from Yamich, brings the Storm Spirit to the grave. 23 Savage actually shows up with the meta, but again, it feels like they're not able to get any connection that they want. Oh, as I say that, Serpent Ward going to be placed right on top of Puck. Sumail, they're actually going to turn this around, though, onto WS instead. The disarm from the Heaven's Halberd, not going to save him long enough. Jocam likely to be the second casualty here in this little mini engagement. 23, is he stuck?
What? Oh, okay.
Just couldn't decide where to go, perhaps. And they're going to snowball on top of 23 Savage. Another punch for the road for Yamich. The Blood Right still silencing.
Oh,
Roach will deny Yamich. And 23 Savage dies again. Wow. Damn. This is just a train wreck.
Terrorblade 0, 4 minute 15. I can only get so wet.
Oh, God! It blamed me. Scare Roshan away.
It's like a porcupine, just growing spines. Oh, that's good.
What was it? Oh, he was just walking. All right, poor thing.
It's one of my favorite moments of the entire tournament. It's just full panic. No! I think he was trying to press his neutral. He probably has the hotkeys close together.
Yeah,
it was so
quite
funny.
possibly.
Great fights for NGX, though. You gotta say, this silence strategy, it owns the Dire. I think if you're Flipster Talon, you have to take your time to get some items here, because your entire lineup just gets really screwed by silence, and there's plenty where that came from. Between Global, Puck, and the Bloodseeker,
Yeah.
they're just struggling to fight back. Every single time Nigma just gets to cast their spells, it's a very one-sided affair.
Nice fat stack for Ghost as well. He's top net worth right now.
Yeah.
As Cuckoo will be able to leap away. So for Ghost, it's going to be Mjolnir into what, do you think? I guess you kind of have to go BKB in general on this hero, right?
Yeah, I think Mjolnir BKB sounds solid. You could argue maybe for Sanjin Yasha this game.
Okay.
You have so many silences, so even if you do get caught by a stun, you can't just global.
Yeah, I'd like
cover.
that. I'd like that quite a bit.
Maybe Manta is a consideration as well, but I don't... That's just going off of memory of what Bloodseekers like to buy. I don't think there's particularly good reason for Manta here, so I doubt we'll see that. I'm curious. Another angle is, well, now that Blood Rage costs mana, maybe you need an item that gives mana regen. So, I don't know, Bloodthorn could be a potential thing in your build. Oh. Not going to get the connection onto Mikoto. Nice reaction. We'll get out. Law and Order from Noob.
That's right.
Wants to Law and Order all over the bottom tower. Has the blink, so...
God, that sound is...
I really hope they never change this.
Of course you do. It's kind of like the... I mean, it's not the same, but... I'll hold that thought.
23 looking for his 5th death.
Yep, he's blocked in. Global silence.
He'll find
and
it.
Dead. 0 and 5 now on 23 Savage. It's been a rough one. Got the hoof stomp onto Jocam. And he will be cleaned up easily by Ghost. Double kill for him, and NGX just showing up in this game number 1.
Yeah, Talon seem a little bit lost. Like, that's what's so interesting when you run new meta stuff like this. They don't really have a frame of reference for how to deal with this, seemingly. Either in the drafting stage or in the game. Would have probably made some serious adaptations now, or adjustments now that they have tried these first 18 minutes, but you don't get a do-over. And, okay, when are things going to change, I guess is what I'm looking at. You have your Blink Dagger on Shaman, but he's countered by Silencer. Storm Spirit needs 1,500 for a BKB. I think you have to wait for that. I don't think you can fight until Mikoto gets BKB. So you have to play a keep-away game. Yeah. Try not to get run over too much by Nigma's moves. Maybe bleed a hero here or there, and then, of course, goes without saying, you need 23 Savage to stop dying. 5 deaths on this hero is crippling. I mean, at 18
I
minutes.
can't remember the last time I've seen a Terrorblade bottom net worth of all the cores in the game. at
True.
around this time.
Very
That's
true.
Pretty crazy. Even in like the bad games,
Yeah.
they've been like third.
Radiant
Yeah.
are scanning.
That's
Let's see if he's going to be able to recover this game. This is a good start for Talon to try to smoke and try and find Sumail. Gets the Waning Rift off, though the arrow does hit, but look who comes to the assistance of Sumail is again Yamich as they find Jokam easily. Not to beat a dead horse, but Talon, every move is being shut down right now. They cannot find an opening.
You can see in the way they move around the map that they have made the conscious decision to kind of not really try very much with their Storm. It's uncharacteristic for sure to see Talon play this way with Mikoto on the Storm Spirit, but you're just forced to. Like you don't have any interesting plays until you itemize your way out of the trouble here. And when Mikoto gets BKB, that's going to be a big help, but it's not necessarily enough either. But you're going to wait for it.
And they're going to rupture Cuckoo here. He gets off the... Oh my god, Sumail is there to greet him
Nice
with the
coil.
dash. Coil onto 2. The wall is going to be placed, but now the global silence. This is just... They can't do anything at all. Not even remotely a fight for Talon here as they lose 3. And this is snowballing out of control now for NGX. Crimson Guard online for Noob. Ghost on the Bloodseeker. Should be finishing his BKB as well. Sumail, what is he going for? Has the Witchblade, Blink Dagger, 1,200 gold to boot. And yeah, they can certainly go for Roshan now.
And there's actually a secondary problem here. And I know I keep harping on this BKB for Storm, but genuinely it's the only angle I see right now. So I do think Talon are thinking of it, at least in a somewhat similar fashion, that we need to get Mikoto there. The BKB is not a... It's not a full solution to the problem, because you can still get global. And if Storm ever wants to go in, he feels like he probably has to precast BKB, because otherwise he can get caught by Snowball, Centaur Stomp, or a Coil. And if you react to getting coiled by BKBing, you get insta-globaled. And then you can still die. They can run you down with Stampede. The Bloodseeker is going to be super fast. This is a beautiful draft here from Nigma Galaxy. I'm really impressed with the creativity they're bringing to the table here with the Bloodseeker. It's looked extremely good. Ghost is now 7-0-7. The upgraded James Bond stat line. 10,000 gold. Ahead now, almost, for their side.
He's just
Going
rounding
Scotty
up.
next.
Rounding up from 8.
It was 9 just a
know.
moment ago, I promise. Just went down.
Still not 10. So
Okay. No, I'll appreciate your correctness. Technicalities are important, Shannon, especially numbers. You corrected me on a number. That's refreshing to hear.
Yep. Ghost going for Scotty now, so we've been seeing a lot more carries pick this up with the extra stats that you get. It is more expensive though, of course. I think the health reduction, like the anti-healing, hasn't changed though, right? They just changed names effectively.
I think that was the case for most of the items.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Not
He's at
gonna have his Crimson
health.
yet.
He's got some reinforcements coming, and that's going to help as well. Trying to layer the global silence. They don't have the damage yet because of the pipe as Mikoto. Nice back wall onto the 2 with a snowball to save. Noob is going to be able to get away, it looks like. Gets to the south as now there's a rupture. 23 Savage trying to fight this off.
Ghost is mega strong. If they get an opening here, he's going to go in.
Oh, they're going to burst damage. 23 Savage. He gets the Thunder off onto his teammate, but they have damage for days, man.
Here it comes.
NGX. Not much to be done here. Halberd a bit annoying, but Ghost gonna clean up another support. Double kill. Unstoppable right now. Well,
Yep.
technically godlike.
Good heavens, would you look at the lead, Shannon? It's 10,000.
There you go. You called it, Cinderin.
I just knew. I just had a feeling. Now that Nigma Galaxy have won 20 minutes straight, maybe they'll also win the 22nd minute. And they sure did.
Really impressive.
And that wasn't even the cleanest fight for them either. It kind of turned into a great bait there with Noob being saved by Yamich, being able to disengage. But
yeah, if the network was closer, that would have been 2 pickoffs right off the bat for Talon.
for sure. But they've built themselves such a nice lead. Moonlight Shadow. They want to try again.
Yep. Round number 2 onto the Centaur. Bloodright going to do quite a bit of work here. Jokam silenced up. Of course, there's no global silence to work with. Yamich with the Stampede. Centaur with the Stampede, rather. They get the Crimson Guard off. Eventually, Yamich does fall as Ghost. All right, he's hexed. That's life number 1 for him, but here comes Sumail to assist. As Ghost super fast. The Serpent Ward's placed and no follow-up. As GH being hounded by 23savage, who just dies to Ghost. Eventually catches up, and now Coil onto Makoto, forcing out the BKB and retreat. And another death for Jokam incoming. So after all said and done, 3-1 advantage.
And they're spending, I mean, they're burning their Storm BKB charges to lose fights, right? That's where we're at now. Makoto with 2 charges expended, both by
Global's back up as well, so they don't even have to stop.
23savage now 0-7 on this TB. That's another part of this that we haven't even really talked about, but this, even in the previous patches when it was on a rare occasion a Bloodseeker game, this hero was used as a counter to Terrorblade. So it's like, even that is good for Nigma's lineup. It's just so many upsides.
Oh, I forgot they got rid of the shard that gives you pure damage.
Yeah.
What are his talents now? Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. The double rupture charge, and then extra move speed on Thirst.
Yeah. I don't know if we've ever seen the non-2 rupture charges chosen. You always take them.
Yeah, it just seems a little too good. Arrow dodged. Noob wants to continue. On to Jokam. Will actually use the Stampede as well, and they will find the 7th death for Jokam.
In the meantime, Yamich placing a very good aggressive ward here that could pay dividends in just a moment. Makoto, good reaction though.
Punches a creep in frustration.
Merry Christmas to the Croaker.
Now Balloon to a 14k lead. Roche not really very close to spawning as Sumail. Oh my god.
I was like, he's doing way too much damage. Well, he had an amp damage and Parasma, so
yeah,
guess that checks out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
All right, so Talon.
What year is it, Shannon? Nigma Galaxy are owning, and Bloodseeker has an 8-second silence? Is this a time machine patch? Kuro is back. Next game, Kuroki's going to stand in for Ghost and play carry. That's how far we're back in time right now.
He used to play, was it mid or carry Doom? I remember that vividly.
Kuro?
Yeah.
When he was playing carry, I mainly remember his PA.
I don't remember Doom being a carry back then, though.
Not really.
Yeah,
no.
I think it was a mid.
Yeah, maybe. Kuro played a little bit of... Which roles did he play?
Everything.
I don't know if he ever played offlane. I think he played everything else, though. Oh, in we go.
With the punch. They got the blood right, but the Makoto BKB comes out. And the channel onto Noob, but the global silence is there.
This is a good defense.
They used the pipe on Talon. That's going to dissuade NGX from going any further.
It's a solid hold. That's a very important hex there from Jokam to protect on the Blink Stomp from Centaur. He was ready for that. Had they globaled as they engaged, they would have got the kill. Instead, they end up using it to retreat as the Shadow Shaman Shackles plus Storm was BKBing and fighting. But that's another defensive BKB effectively from Makoto, not getting a kill with it.
Yeah. And that's one of the few, maybe the only global silence that hasn't resulted in a kill for NGX.
In spite of that failing, they're going to smoke up and retain map control here, looking probably to find 23savage. He's tucked away nicely. The depths of the forest, they will never look here, he says.
Yep, he's going to make a lot of gold standing there as well.
He keeps cutting trees. He's building himself a new path.
Pops the Demon Zeal as GH, taking some Lotus Flowers while smoked. And there's the Aghanim Scepter for Sumail. That's when, not that he needs another power spike. That's a pretty big one for a puck.
Yeah.
Coil just destroys you. Especially when you have these right clicks.
Curious to see what he goes next. When you get this build, sometimes you see pucks go Daedalus, sometimes you see Mjolnir, sometimes you see different angles. Oh, he's fun. Nice find here.
Yeah, now you can see the damage from the Dream Coil is pretty redonk. But yeah,
Shadow Shaman must have shown on the Watcher there. Otherwise, Sumail would have not have any info to...
I mean, I would expect Mjolnir because you're playing as a Terrorblade, but he's not really... I mean, he's so poor that maybe it doesn't matter what he gets at this stage.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, who are you looking to counter? Because if Mjolnir is good against TP, well, the other items are better against everyone else.
Yeah.
Sumail. Good reaction.
The blink off.
Yeah. Talon are trying to find an angle, but it's so hard. And Global is available again, by the way, so Sumail is pretty safe here. Doing some good damage. No detection, though. Okay, Global.
There's the Global. Has the vision. Cuckoo's still dead. Sumail 8-0 and 12. Meanwhile, Ghost 11-0 and 7. Just a shellacking.
Nigma Galaxy have 1 core death in 30 minutes.
Who's the noob?
That's right. GH. Gonna see 23 Savage.
Yeah, another death for 23
Nice
Savage.
fake out on the Manta.
Yeah, Manta not able to dodge it, but the Serpent Wards come out. They're actually stuck in a weird spot, but they still get the Terrorblade. Makoto has the BKB. Coil is doing so much damage, though. Able to zip to the other side. Bloodright going to connect on 2 members of Talon. And WS eventually will be melted. That is a 3-for-0. Storm does get out. Makoto, I mean, with only 1 death so far this game, pretty respectable. But still, team fight win for NGX.
Can they turn it into anything more? It's 5-on-2, but they have relatively low resources on Puck and Centaur, so Ghost will try to put some pressure here. See how much he can get done. I don't even think he'll take the tower, but maybe just that. Okay, well, okay. He pushes faster than I was anticipating. He's actually pretty damn quick at this, but will only be the tower indeed before they back off.
Yeah.
Roshan is up for grabs. So is Ye Olde Tormentor, which is up top.
Did we?
I was just going to say, did anyone kill it this game?
I don't think so. I didn't. I mean, there are some shards. Let's see if anybody
Tusk has a shard, so they must have killed it, right? He wouldn't have
Yeah, I
lost that.
guess so.
But that would mean Nigma killed it very early. They must have killed it almost exactly at 20. In that case.
The coil from Sumail, and no BKB at the ready for Makoto. He is donezo. Another 10 seconds left on that cooldown.
He's not done yet.
No.
Joke.
You would think this is another kill, and while this is happening, Roche is... Oh, they're going to use Global.
Yeah, maybe they thought Joachim was getting reinforcements.
Yeah, perhaps. Better safe than sorry when you have this kind of a lead.
Yeah.
Second Roche secured, Ghost Aegis, and now you can start to go high ground in all likelihood. The building hitting, I think it's okay with Bloodseeker, but we've seen a lot better.
Yep.
So this might be more Roches in the future.
See you later.
We've seen some teams not able to finish as fast as, you know, some of these top tier teams that we're used to seeing. I think that's the next thing, I think separating some of these teams, if I'm being honest.
Better get used to it, Shannon. Nigma Galaxy is top tier now. It's a new dawn here. I've been so impressed with them this tournament, and they're not disappointing in this game either. Just all their individuals really stepping up their performances, and then some creative drafting and a new patch seems to be... It can't even be like it's just a fluke because of the patch, because they also went through Group Stage 1, right?
Yep.
Which was on the old patch, and they were playing really well.
Yep, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Really cool to see.
I mean, it's just good for Dota if NGX is doing well.
Yeah, there's some fans that have been waiting for 5 years for this. Time for a big payoff.
Right, big power spike for 23 Savage. He does have his 4-staff now.
Nice.
And Sumail creating a bit of space. They got the bottom lane, of course. This melee rack's exposed. There's Ghost. Let's be a bit careful. Hoof stomp initiation onto WS. He gets off the Crimson, though, and the pipe to follow, but he still dies nonetheless. And now a global silence into the Stampede. They're just dropping like flies as the GGs come out for Talon.
What a beatdown. Double beyond godlike to end the game.
Shellacking. Yeah, both of them are 14-0.
Ghost and Sumail both 14-0.
Wow. Talon. Game 1 was a monstrous shellacking that Sumail and company took to Talon. Can Talon bounce back? I feel like they just woke up. They needed to get the sleep out of their eyes. I like to call them eye crispies personally, Cinderin.
Yep, delicious.
Makes them sound quite delicious, like a cereal. Hopefully they didn't eat them.
Crispy.
You like that?
I actually do. I will never refer to them that way myself, of course.
Why not?
Funny.
What do you say?
Because it's just weird.
What do you call it?
Sleep.
Yeah, but sleep means something else. Like, let's get some new words.
Well, if somebody says they have sleep in their eyes, what do you think they mean? Do you think they mean they fell asleep inside their own eyes?
It's possible.
Like one
Anything's
meaning.
possible.
There's no ambiguity. There's no issue.
Cinderin, just mind your own business.
Yeah,
all right?
I'm good at that, actually.
Eye crispies are the way to go.
Okay. All right, well, what a switch up here. A lot of different heroes to the last game. We're running 2 repeats on the side of Talon in the Mikoto Storm Spirit as well as the Shadow Shaman, but this time Shadow Shaman will be played by Kuku as a position 5. For Nigma Galaxy, 5 different heroes. Complete switch up. They just beat Talon with something and they run none of it back. We'll run the mid Queen of Pain here. I'm excited to see that. And of course, we've been singing Yamich's praises. He's going to be playing Magnus, position 4. And this hero has looked incredible in the hands of other players, so
Yep.
see if he can mirror that performance.
It is melee.
That's right.
He's going to be pulling the waves here. Make the lane just a wee bit easier for his offlaner, which will be Noob on the Timbersaw, of course. Talk to me about the Razor, Cinderin. 23 Savage, sick and tired of Terrorblade.
Yeah, I'm
a
not.
sit and farm type of hero. This is, you want to get aggressive kind of hero.
I'm not completely sure what the idea was behind the pick. There wasn't like an obvious like Razor historically was an anti-carry. He's become a lot better in his own right at just carrying games, but you're still, I mean, Static Link is still a really big part of your hero, right?
Yeah.
And at the time they picked it, there wasn't an obvious thing that it was really hard countering, I feel.
Well, I don't know if it was hard countering, but the first thing I thought of was you can always Static Link an illusion of Naga.
Yeah.
Which you can't, but it's not position 1.
Yeah, you were assuming the Naga was a support the whole way, right? Based on the fact that Nigma Galaxy have been playing it that way. We'll see. It could just be a tempo thing. It could be an adjustment after game 1 where they felt like 23 Savage couldn't get involved enough, and now he just wants to play something more aggressive. You do lane quite well against what you were maybe assuming would be an offlane Timbersaw, but I don't think it's a fully one-sided matchup either. I think there is potential risk for Razor once Timbersaw hits level 3 and Magnus hits level 2. Some decent damage between the two of them.
Yep. And Shadow Shaman is really catapulted to be one of these S-tier supports, it seems. What do you think the reason for that is? I mean, I feel like just the fact that you can't kill him, you can't burst him, is pretty annoying in a lot of these cases.
He was already getting popular at the end of the previous patch, and then in this one, other supports were just nerfed more, right? So that should put him even further up the list. Part of it, his innate, of course, as you said, is really good. Chicken Fingers, I think, has been incredibly powerful. He seems like an overall solid support that, in the past, Shaman's big challenge was that he wasn't necessarily the best for 2v2 lanes, and he would maybe struggle to find impact in team fights, but just all of that added luxury. He's a better laner because of Chicken Fingers. He's a better mid-gamer because of foul play. Just takes that much more effort to deal with him. And of course, now we also got the buff to Mass Serpent Ward. If you were to take that, he does have Chicken Fingers in this game. So yeah, it's a lot of added benefits to the hero over time.
And we're seeing the support Slark again, despite the nerfs to Depth Shroud, as the panel was talking about. Do you like that this can be played as support? Like, there's some heroes for me.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Pretty valuable courier killed, actually. The rest of the Bracer with the Gloves of Haste and Tangos, so Pretty big pickup there.
I like that it can be played as support.
Yeah.
I don't really mind that much. I'm just trying to think of, can it even be played as a core anymore? I think we're approaching a point. Nice reel in here. Lots of damage. The toss back into reel in WS.
JoeCam needs to react with power. He does. WS takes a beating, though.
Damn, they did like a total of 1,000 damage there at least with that one play. Very nicely done.
Oh, damage. Blood grenade in the mid lane with the shockwave and the skewer. Sumail wanting to finish the job. They will get the first blood first. Makoto kills off Yamich from the grave.
And they force the TP over here from Cuckoo. So.
That skewer was made things a little bit more difficult for Sumail.
Yeah.
But it worked out.
I was going to say, all the cores are doing all right for themselves. Noob is the one suffering the most here on that Timbersaw in the Razor matchup. Can be pretty difficult, especially if the Mag 4 was something more aggressive. You could maybe even try to win this lane through Spell Burst, but that's not what Mag 4 does. So I like the idea of putting Timber with Mag because of how independent you can be, and you can see Noob's approach to this lane is maxing out reactive armor. So they don't have aspirations to kill here. The goal is to play an offlaner with Mag that is self-sufficient enough that you can be left alone. Nice play here from Yamich though, but no static link available just yet. It's coming off cooldown now, and 23 Savage will stop this play immediately with that.
Yep, Noob Timber chains away. And the one aspect of, oh, they actually have two heroes that can get away, I suppose, from the static link.
Yamich does kill Cuckoo's courier that had boots on it, so that sucks for him for a couple minutes. Now it's time for the 6-minute power rune. Yamich having a look at top rune while GH's illusions and JoeCam cover bottom. And Sumail will get lucky. Gets the shield rune.
Yep, Cuckoo in a bit of trouble. Maybe gonna look for the deny on the creeps as Ghost getting chased in the meantime by WS. Won't result in a kill, but this will. Noob will get credit for that one. Sumail in mid lane, 33 and 10 versus Makoto, who's already died, of course, 26 and 5. And Snare to start things out.
Oh,
Sumail was thinking about it.
Not quite enough.
As Ghost left alone, X-Torrent under the tier 1. Do they have follow-up?
He still has all of his spells and 5 stick charges. They're going to blood grenade him too.
Yeah, Pounce hits again. Dark Pact to follow. Avalanche, one of the good counters to that spell. And there's the Sonic Wave, and that deletes the support Slark as 23 Savage on the cliff. Be able to TP out pretty quickly, though. Looks like he was trying to contest the Wisdom Shrine.
Yeah, that's another part of Magnus that we have not really talked about too much in how he works in the meta right now, but in theory, one of the really good heroes around Wisdom Shrine fights. In part for the reason you just saw there, the ability to just disconnect players entirely from the fight, but also move the location of the fight away from some area, such as that shrine. Looks to be the end of that exchange. JoeCam, not really sure what he's trying to do here. He's running down and taking the Watcher. Was he hoping they hadn't taken the Wisdom?
Yeah, potentially.
A bit naive there, honestly. Seems like a bit of a waste of time, but maybe this is just a connection point for him to have a scout out here onto the Ancients and Big Camp, and he will block the Ancients. So that was the main idea. And check the other part just for good measure. Timber. Uh-oh, Noob. That was not the best chain.
Uh-oh.
He's dead.
See the ult just going ham on from 23 Savage. Ripping apart that armor. A big solo kill. Something that 23 Savage and company desperately need. Well, I shouldn't say desperately, but after last game, everything's desperate, I suppose. First Curio picked up. We'll be on the watch, don't worry, for the Curio fans out there. Obscurio, sorry.
Yep. That one is on Makoto. Chooses Brawny here. I wonder what options he had. Generally don't see Storms pick health. Yamich. Easy kill here.
Mega dead. Tries to deny himself. Not to be, though.
And they might want to try to steal the hard camp, but Sumail's not going to let them.
Yeah, this is a bit too much. Sumail Sonic Wave back up again.
Noob also coming over, Cuckoo.
Yep, they can try to go for the Rasta. Pretty much out of mana at this point.
Definitely dead. So, becomes a support trade after all said and done.
Ghost right now, 3rd in net worth.
Worth mentioning as well in this game, some male playing with the best cosmetic to ever be made for Dota. The Queen of Pain Arcana. It's of course my #1 S tier they ever made. That battle pass had some sick stuff.
That was the
Very good.
the best of the best.
Had the Windranger Arcana as well, I believe.
Jokam gets to the high ground on a cliff.
Oh, not the best place to be. They placed 2 sentry wards to see him. Oh, got him.
Worth?
Yeah, sure.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Anything
under
to kill that
attack.
old rat bastard.
True.
That's right. That's Slark. It's like in Dota 1 where heroes had a name and a title.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It is
attack.
Slark, the rat bastard.
True.
Yeah, that's what he was called.
I wonder how many of these heroes we can remember the names of.
Yeah. Do you want a quiz?
Well, Rosta's easy. Actually, I don't want a quiz because I know it's going to go poorly.
All right, I'll do my best. I'll try. So Tiny was Stone Giant.
Okay.
Queen of Pain was Akasha.
Yeah, that one I remember.
Timbersaw was Rizrak, I think.
That's right.
Naga Siren.
Nobody cares.
Lithis.
Okay, I don't remember that one. 23 Savage on top of Noob. Cuckoo just out of range, though, so the Timber Chain will be enough.
Okay, thanks for that, Shannon. Now we have Magnus the Magnetor.
Yep, I knew that one.
Rasta the Shadow Shaman, you knew that one.
I would have been actually pretty good at this quiz.
What was Storm called? Ragin Storm Keg or
yeah.
something?
That does
Ragin
sound
something, right?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Ragin Storm Stout, maybe? Then we have
Radiant's
Slark,
top tower is under attack.
Rat Bastard, I think he's
the Rat Bastard. What was he called again? The Nightcrawler, right?
Okay.
What was Kunkka? Kunkka the what?
The Pirate.
No, the Pirate.
I thought, oh, dodges the ensnare.
And then we had Razor the Lightning Revenant, I think. What was Kunkka? Why can't I remember this?
It was named after the very famous artist Kunkka, who
Yeah,
we've worked with before. He's awesome.
He made a lot of amazing loading screens for Dota 1 and got a hero named after himself, which is this pirate. Wonder how many players don't know that. If you don't know the Dota 1 lore, there's no way to find that out.
Even
right?
deeper lore, he didn't like the hero.
Unfortunate. But in classic Dota fashion, of course, it did not get reworked in his honor.
Yeah.
It's just, well, if you don't like it, that's unfortunate.
Indeed.
We do. Dota doesn't care about you. Dota cares about itself.
So, okay. Was it the Admiral? Is that
Was
possible?
it just Admiral?
Oh. All right, we'll leave that for another day.
Dire's bottom
Jokam is greeted on the high ground by Ghost. Still has his level 6. Will have to use it. Just barely survives.
Yep.
Good
This is
attempt
definitely
there.
a much quieter game than Game 1, and it's good news for Talon, because this time, the panel was talking about it. It's a much better Storm game.
Speaking of which, though,
Savage.
there is some action now. 23 Savage is going to get some help from a couple members, and that's going to be a turnaround onto Noob. Nice rotation overall. The X into Torrent for Yamich as well. That's 2 quick kills for Talon.
They used RP on that, too. So mission very failed there for
Radiant's
Nigma Galaxy, and now it's going to cost them their stacks, too.
Oh, boy.
This is
Serpent
looking
Ward
so much
will
better
take out
for
the
Talon.
tier 1 as well. Tasty treats for Talon.
Dire's middle
Yeah.
tower is under attack.
About as good as it can get until
Oh, but the
this
song.
happens.
Sumail at the ready with the
Dire's
Sonic
bottom
Wave.
tower is under
They want to get the Storm Spirit. Gets ensnared, gets Sonic Wave, gets bursted. Big kill for Nigma. As Jokam on the cliff.
Oh.
Gets skewered off, actually, with the Dark Pact to follow, but the Scream of Pain will finish him off. 2 for nothing. But they did lose their stacks. They lost their tier 1.
But they did get the Rat Bastard.
They did.
And they got Raging. Not bad.
And Sumail, I believe the Dagon is,
Yep.
yeah, it is finished.
En route. Or actually arrived already.
23 Savage coming to play for the 14-minute rune. Looks like it's going to be bottom. Makoto is going to connect with him to take out GH.
Curious to see what Sumail does here after this Dagon. The panel was talking about it, potentially getting Sanj first before Kaya now. Or if he goes for neither. I do think he probably still wants Kaya Sanj, but he hasn't queued up anything in his quick buy just yet. Maybe eyeing up some possibilities, of course, considering the matchups that he has. Slark, Storm, and Shadow Shaman. It could potentially be a cool Orchid game, but I don't know if you can go Dagon into Orchid on Cloth and feel good about it.
X onto Tiny. I don't know if they're going to fully commit here. Jokem has to pop his ult, so the toss is not going to be in time.
Oops.
A little bit of mistake there.
No, it's a level 1 toss. He had to try to wait for as long as he could. They couldn't have killed him. I guess didn't really matter all that much. TP top onto Noob from Kunkka. I think he saw WS arriving here, but can he get the distance?
Twisted Chakra, 23 Savage does not take the Timber Chain, but Sumail has come to play as well. Big Static Link is continuing. The Plasma Field is going to hit all 3 heroes. 23 Savage, oh, he actually dodges the RP.
Oh, that's one way to look at it.
That was being very positive there.
That's a true positive angle.
Yeah,
what a dodge! He ran in a straight line.
So 23 Savage, the big kill here. So NGX, good rotation, good follow-up.
Yeah, it's a lot of heroes they have to bring for this, though, and that would have been a lot easier if Noob would have hit his first Timber Chain. I think was anticipating a tree to be up that was already cut and couldn't reach with the level 2 Timber Chain only. But still, they get it done. He gets his level 11 now, backs off to base. Sumail is going Kaya first. Kodo. It's a dead Yamich. Not much to do there. Try to get the rune.
Sumail, he wanted to follow up here onto WS, but just too much move speed, it seems. We'll be going for the Kaya next, and for the Admiral. Has Blade Mail and going for a pipe, so not a... I guess I'm used to seeing the carry Kunkka these days. Just the Aura bot now. It's all about the tank.
Yeah, there's different builds for offlane. Generally, Blade Mail is the first choice, though.
Tower is under attack.
How good is this pipe? It's so-so, I think, actually. Sonic Wave is pure damage. Timbersaw is pure damage. Guess it's okay against some, residual Scream of Pain, Avalanche, a little bit of Magnus. But it's not like an incredible pipe game. Because your heroes don't feel fully protected if Timbersaw and Queen of Pain are unaccounted for. Jokem trying to kite his way out of this. Timbersaw can chase for days.
Yep.
And he will force out the ult eventually, I think. No, actually, Bust Up will give up the chase as he's assuming there's going to be reinforcements, and he was right about that.
Good
now
connection.
He's stuck around.
Timber Chain is disrupted as Noob taken out in tow. But Sumail and company looks like they still may want to fight. Yamich has the RP.
And now he has finally, it's simultaneously with Cuckoo, picked up the Blink Dagger. Big item. Much, I would argue, much bigger for Magnus than Shaman. Not because Shaman can't fight big plays with his dagger, but because Magnus needs it more.
Oh, Shadow Dance really fast.
Yeah. We'll get the D-Warden get out. Jokem.
Shard picked up for Sumail, of course, so his Blink will do damage and Silence, which if you can just jump the Slark before he gets off anything, which is very possible.
And the Storm.
Well, you have to assume Storm is going to itemize something, but you're right, nothing yet. As the X into the boat, Sumail trying to look for a good setup, but the song to reset. Do they want to fight? They get the RP, it hits 2. Blade Mail was activated, but the Sonic Wave just rips right through him. So far, it looks like Sumail took the brunt of that damage from the Blade Mail. So he is already out of the fight. And now 23 Savage is going to continue this as Ghost will be his 3rd kill.
I can't wait to see this damage breakdown.
Terrific turnaround from Talon.
I think Blade Mail did more damage than anything else in this fight.
Yeah, that was nice.
Hit it 3K, and I think he barely hit a spell there. Maybe the Ghost Ship hit 1 or 2 heroes, but the Blade Mail just ate them alive. I hope we get a replay of that. That's crazy just how much that did. It looked like a good setup. You could see Nigma Galaxy were kind of hesitant. When the song comes in, GH starts TPing out, and you can kind of imagine what their comms are like. GH is like, let's get out of here. And Yamit's like, no. I have a good RP. And then, ooh, that blade mail. Oh my god.
Well, really, I think he didn't anticipate the damage because he surely did not have to blink in afterwards.
Yeah. Well, he does want to go for the full burst combo and activate his silence from the shard, right? So it does make sense. I think Sumail just got really caught off guard by just how much.
Yeah.
Seems to be the case.
That's a good meme, I think. As Tier 1 will be Talons, and they have a pretty sizable lead right now. So definitely coming back with a vengeance after that game 1. I want to say pretty embarrassing showing from them.
Yeah.
But looking a lot better in game number 2.
Dire are scanning.
Side of Nigma Galaxy. You are kind of banking on wait a moment. Mikoto. Okay. You can't follow
Cuckoo,
through.
he's going to follow up, but this time it's going to be on to the Magnus.
Sumail might die too.
Is he actually dropping to 23 Savage? Yes! Wow, I was not expecting them to be able to split the upright and go for both, but they did, and they got him.
The mid tower, they can now start taking over the enemy triangle. Yeah, things are looking really tough for the side of Nigma Galaxy, and I think a really big part of the problem that they have is just you need it. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah, this could be a really big kill. Avatos into the chakra, more than enough damage. 23 Savage, his reign has ended for now. A 5x kill streak, so tons of gold going into Ghost's pocket.
Yeah, got surprised by the Shadow Blade play. Also didn't have any coverage. I think if you're farming the enemy triangle there, you need some support to cover for you. Oh, smart.
Yeah, he's going to be caught off guard as well. Ghost just eating them all up. Second in net worth now.
Yeah, we've seen relatively little out of Ghost in this game compared to a lot of Nigma's games, but in addition to that, Noob's top lane did not go well either, so 2 cores were suffering, and of course that is going to put you in a rough spot. I still wouldn't count them out that much just yet. I see the song RP combinations possible. See a lot of damage inherently between their heroes as long as things line up. The 6k lead is definitely great for Talon, but they're not out of the woods yet. 23 Savage TP's top. Is he just going to insta-die again? He's alone here.
Oh boy.
He's
Shadow Blade from above. Avatos, Chakram, dead again.
That is very,
and all
very
3
bad.
TPs canceled. A free tier 1 for NGX.
Yikes.
I feel like with that, things have come closer to equalizing. That is devastating for Talon.
Honestly, this is some pretty... If we can do like a tier list for voice line usage, I think saying you're wise to fear me twice in a row after being burst, it's not really up there. I feel like he's the player they fear the least as they just see 23 Savage and go to town twice in a row. Now they get the Tormentor. This is going to be the Naga Shard. So now with the Song of the Siren heal and mana restoration.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Could make a very big difference if Talon are the ones to initiate and you get the counterplay.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of their resources will just be thrown out.
He has the vision, goes for the solo RP. Cuckoo's going to come with an instant hack, so not able to get off the skewer here. Still has it at the ready. And the stun right now onto the Timber Saw. They're still focusing on this Magnus. Yamich gonna go down before the song goes off, and actually the song is ended because so is the life of GH. And now Ghost, a very valuable kill for Talon, left all alone. The tasty treat. His killing spree is now ended.
Jokem saved that entire fight with that Yules. That was such an important item to have right there. They get the solo RP, which isn't the greatest, but they were going to be able to layer it fully with Avalanche Toss. If we get a replay of that, you'll see that Ghost was trying to do the correct layering back-to-back with the RP to have the max stun duration, but he got Yuled as he was about to combo. And once you get combo broken on a lineup like this for Nigma Galaxy, that RP just goes completely to waste. Your Magnus doesn't offer much more, and you see it here. He's starting that Yule. Is everything in this fight. Because if not for that, WS maybe dies, doesn't get his pipe and his blade mail off the moment all these items are popped, and that you see Sumail is coming in just now on the left.
Yeah. To be fair, I actually do not think he dies there anyway.
I think they get him low enough that when Sumail shows up, they can fight back. Yeah, keep in mind, Razor isn't here. This was a 5-on-4.
Yeah.
So that was a winnable fight for sure for Nigma, but yeah, with that counterplay from Joachim, they were kind of dead in the water as soon as the Yule went off, and they wisely cut their losses. Get out on as many
So
as
strange. Look at the net worth for 23 Savage. He's been #1 the whole game. Dies 2 times in a row. Remains #1.
Yeah.
And now he has a 2K net worth discrepancy lead between him and Ghost. Just because he wasn't part of that fight, he just farmed.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. This is a Razor. It's not really a hero that is super duper good at farming. Not like a Terrorblade.
He's pretty solid with the Mjolnir build. Maybe not as fast as the best ones, but it's not bad. And with Storm Surge, of course.
There's no... surely you want to put this on Storm Spirit. Although 23 Savage has been dying a lot, I guess.
Dire's middle tower.
Mikoto wasn't even there. So. This upcoming fight for Nigma Galaxy is really hard. Their lineup does not fight Aegis very well. There are lineups that inherently do a lot better against Aegis, which are the lineups that don't need to expend big cooldowns to find key picks, like just consistent high damage or low commitment, strong lockdown, like say Shadow Shaman. They don't really have that. So killing Razor twice is going to be very, very difficult for Mikoto on the chase here. Won't find anything. Ooh. Wisely here, Nigma Galaxy find a way out of that.
Aghanim Scepter, an early one for WS, so cannons on his ship.
Yep. Should help wipe out Naga illusions, which isn't all that important since Naga is support, but something. It's just more damage, more control. And of course, he has some very good friends to land ghost ships with. Shadow Shaman in particular has so much lockdown duration that you can get both boats connected on the same hero. You have Vortex, you have Pounce, which lasts decently long. So it's quite nice combos here. I feel like a lot of other players would not have bought that here. It is a feels good item on Kunkka, to be honest, but...
There's Noob. He's spotted out.
He's a goner. I think. Well, he has Ag.
Comes in. They have a lot of control. Yeah, the Yules will dispel the reactive armor. And Timber Chain, good timing on the Shackle. Easy kill from Mikoto and company. It does take a while, but they get what they came for. 3 minutes on the Aegis. How much can 23 Savage come to get out of this? There's still, let's see, 3 tier 2s up.
Feels like bot tier 2 is at least very likely to be receiving some harm here. But I say that Nigma Galaxy are already setting up down here, anticipating the push, and they want to maybe fight, or are they just going to farm the area? Considering Yamage's position, this is telegraphing a desire to protect this area.
Radiant are scanning.
And look at Talon's map placements too. They don't have Storm nearby bottom. So maybe they're not even going to push. Are they just going to farm with this Aegis the whole way through?
Quite possibly.
It's a little bit of a letdown.
Mikoto Witchblade is incoming.
Yep.
And for 23 Savage, well, I think the BKB is probably what he's waiting for. It's only 100 gold away. So
Yeah.
maybe force the issue with that.
Actually going to gate top, so they want to strike there instead. Nigma Galaxy have pre-placed a ward here, which is very good for Magnus. And the Sea Heroes approach, maybe can find a Blink Skewer. And now it's on Cuckoo to be quick to react if that is the case with an insta-counter Hex. Let's see if Nigma fancy their chances here. Got the Guardian Greaves and GH. He will Song.
Ooh,
2 heroes. He will get the Wisdom for this.
He's just on the outskirts. That really worked out. Perfect. Pixel perfect.
Yep. And they might also get the other one if Noob wants to go there. You get the other Wisdom, but yeah. With Song expended in this fashion, you're just giving up this time. Don't think they're too interested in holding this.
All right, most of them have actually exited, so if they had the vision we did, this would be an interesting time to pounce, actually.
Okay. Scouting them out.
Radiant's top
This is
tower
so
under
awkward for
attack.
Magnus. This support matchup,
Dire's middle tower is under
he's being
attack.
scouted and he can't really do anything about it. He can't really go on Joachim because he has so much counterplay. He can pre-cast the Yules on him if he thinks he's going to Blink Skewer him.
Dire's
And
bottom
well,
tower is under
he was hounded the whole way, so unsurprisingly, He will die.
Damage, after our praises, has gone 0-8 in this game. It's been a rough one.
Yeah, it's definitely not been up to par with his Tusk and Shaker performances. I think part of what makes Baboka stand out on this hero is that he just finds multi-hero RPs, and whenever it's a singular hero, he's so quick to blink skewer and just, yeah.
Whoa, he actually does dust. Very nicely played from Cuckoo. They find the connection they want. 23 Savage coming to play as well. The TP, but the Yules to counteract it. Really big kill for Talon, so maybe they don't get that many buildings with the Aegis, but they get some valuable kills in the meantime. Having said that, net worth has not really changed since they picked it up. Now it will a bit with this tier 2 tower. A whopping 1K was gained. So you got to give credit to NGX. Of course, Ghost being down for another 50 seconds is pretty considerable time.
Yeah.
That allows Makoto to become the second net worth in the game right now. And Sumail hasn't been able to be as active as he would want to be on Quap this game, considering the deficit that they're up against. But when would you say is like the apex of this hero, like the strongest she becomes?
She's a, I don't know, her like power graph, if you will, is kind of interesting because she has certain lane matchups where she's like very strong and others that are moderate. But then I think you level up significantly when you get Dagon. That's the first one. And then she can also be an ultra late gamer. Yeah, 6-slotted Queen of Pain is insanely strong.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's say first power spike is Dagon, the second is BKB, and then you're probably looking at like 3 or 4 items, or 5 even, before it's like really strong.
Yep, Ghost was the recipient of some damage here. Jokum getting the half HP will pop the Essence Ring. They got the X into the Torrent. GH on the sideline, uses his ult. Try to give Ghost a little bit of space. 23 Savage, though, has the BKB, so he's going to continue to chase here. As Nigma Company focused on Cuckoo, getting him down to a respectable amount of HP. As Cuckoo will pop his shard, in fact. Didn't realize that was picked up. And Noob, as a result, going around in circles. As Makoto pops the BKB, gets 1 kill. There's the Ghost ship with the cannonballs, actually directly hits Ghost. He's going to try to reset. And that's a buyback onto Yamich. Remember, he has RP here. So after all that's expended,
he's
only
getting
1
nothing.
kill. As WS using the tidal wave, attempting to TP out. He will get away.
Oh, they lost nothing.
But still,
in spite of the song, Nigma Galaxy do not manage to string together a singular kill. And they use their buyback on Mag. Silver lining here is RP.
Rampage, Ravage.
He did not use Reverse Polarity. So if they were to look for a play, it might be possible. GH has the smoke. And that is exactly what they're going to do. Noob connecting on this. And you can definitely see that Noob has powered up a lot. That fight was a lot better than previous ones he's had because he has now Ags and BKB, makes him so much stronger. They might find WS. That would be a nice pick, but Yamich.
All right, some misspells and
another miss.
WS just casually walks through. I mean, the good thing for Talon is they don't really have any long cooldowns that they're really relying on.
Yeah.
Like Kunkka Boat's relatively short.
I think the most important cooldown they have is Razor's BKB, right?
Yeah, true. More itemization.
On the work on Tormentor. Will be nice and quick. And goes to Cuckoo. Fitting.
Yep, even more annoying to try to burst down.
Cuckoo is going for the more traditional Shadow Shaman build up here, actually, with the Blink Lens into BKB. We've seen a lot of Shamans go. Obviously, Glimmer Capes has been a great item forever, but we've seen Ghost Scepters, we've seen Force Staff sometimes. He will get the traditional one, and I think the mindset here is if he can find a hero like Magnus, he can just commit everything to shut him out of the fight. BKB Blink, shackle him. take him out together with the Storm, and the fight is wide open, and they can't really counterplay it. Also just a feels-good item against the Radiant lineup in general to have BKB, to be honest. It makes it a lot harder for them to kill you Ghost.
Yep, gonna zip in. The haste is gonna be taken by Ghost. They're gonna try to delete Cuckoo. Has that newly picked up shard. Still staying alive as the X-Torrent onto Ghost. Pops the BKB, but the static link will continue. There's the song, though. Gonna fully reset as Ghost BKB kind of feels bad here. As they're gonna get the RP onto one. They get the one support they were looking for. Toss up as well. 23 Savage still alive. Satanic gonna keep him even more alive. Sumail in a horrible spot will blink away. Ghost will be spotted. Sentries placed, and eventually will be brought down as well.
I feel like these songs don't really seem to favor Nigma Galaxy in the way they would like. Then it's not really setting up for much. That's another one-man RP. They've never found two simultaneously, more or less. Never, at least. Oh, noob.
He's run out of mana too. Pop the Soul Ring. They have the connection again. And he is isolated. 23 Savage with another kill to his name. 11-3 right now after that 0-9 Terrorblade.
Yeah, he's crushing it this game. Well ahead of everyone, and see some visible frustration here from Noob. Not really stringing together the fights that they're hoping for.
Yep, this feels like a slow burn for Talon. They're just increasing the pressure ever so slowly.
They're getting, I don't know, I feel like the most impactful hero in this game almost has been the position force Lark. I think it's being such a big problem for Nigma Galaxy. They're always being spotted. He's always frontlining, and they keep trying to kill him and failing. That's the worst part. It's one thing if he's giving information, but the dream team fights for Slark is where people go on you, you survive on a sliver of health, get out, reset, and go again. And that feels like it's happened 2 or 3 fights in a row. They just don't quite have enough to kill him immediately and build a fight around it. Or they either go on him or on Cuckoo, and if they go on Cuckoo, he gets depth shrouded every time. The support play from Talon this game has been excellent, in my opinion. Now they will be rewarded another Aegis. Yamich might try here.
Oh, he's going to try for something potentially. Jumps into the pit, but 23 Savage already gets the Aegis. Yeah, a good try from Yamich, but shut down instantly. Invisibility. So 5 minutes with the Aegis. I think now you look for high ground. The lead has ballooned to 12K over time. Ghost, what's he going for next? It's the Silver Edge. He's going to be spotted again, though. They're going to need to try to defend this.
They have Song, if they want to. Cuckoo was also way ahead of his teammate.
All right, forces the rotation.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
I guess that breaks things up, but another tower bites the dust. Sumail has to deny it. So only one tier 2 remains for NGX in that top lane. Oh, interesting. Dazoon Bloodright on Ghost, so a bigger avalanche.
That one is weird. His options cannot have been that great.
Yeah, most likely. Well, nope. Taking a ton of damage right now. Has the Lotus applied, so that'll be enough to limp back to base. Meanwhile, yeah, Jokem is such a hard kill. Seeing the value of this support Slark. Ghost getting kited constantly. I want to try to force out this BKB. He's not going to oblige quite yet, but they have to zip in the Hex as well, but the Avalanche is going to create a little bit of space. They don't have any damage on top of this RP, though. So Makoto able to get away easily. Ghost in the meantime being walked like a dog by 23 Savage with that leash. Has the butterfly now. Still another 3 minutes on this Aegis, but see how much structural damage they can do. Without the Serpent Wards, their building damage is a bit meh. And it's not like the Razor has an Ags or anything.
Yeah. He's got his 25 talent already.
I feel like we've been seeing a lot of lineups that don't really hit buildings particularly well. Joe Cam. Yep. Okay. The Shadow Dance.
Radiant are scanning.
Escape mechanism number 1 out of 5 for him. And he's going to try to right-click Yamich a bit. Makoto going to switch targets, take out the Magnetar, as it were.
Under attack.
So now we'll kill Cuckoo, so they get something back the other way for once here.
Radiant's top
Now-
tower has fallen.
Nigma forced to use the song to try to disengage. Instant Yule on the reactive armor.
Yeah.
And he's dead, I think.
Well,
maybe
Big
not.
Bolt coming in, though.
Maybe
The
yes.
Sonic Wave already expended, but 2 members of NGX already in the grave. The 23 Savage can now finally mercifully hit
Radiant structure.
the tower. Fortification is popped.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Wasn't as big of a stomp as game 1. Obviously, it's the reverse winner in all likelihood here, unless NGX can pull something truly miraculous out.
Radiant's bottom
23 Savage, still with the Aegis and with Slark backing him up.
Yep, got Eye of the Storm back up as well. We'll Satanic on some creeps. He's going to get skewered into the tier 4s, into the big Sonic Wave. Makoto super low. The RP comes out as well. Makoto somehow staying alive. They get the Aegis. How much more do they have, though? Tidal Wave going to keep them aback, and the buyback comes out from Yamich.
Nice
not
BKB.
able to get the skewer thanks to the golden avatar item for 23 Savage.
For
Those
Cosmodon.
pursuing Cosmodon!
Oh,
Man, they just can't find anything.
this
This-
Slark is actually just... You can feel for Enigma Galaxy when you watch this. It's so frustrating to watch. They just can't deal with this hero.
Yeah.
And conversely, Talon have got ridiculous mileage out of picking this.
Millage.
Did you say mileage?
Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting. I've never heard anyone say that.
oh maybe it's incorrect.
Dire
I don't
are
know.
scanning.
It's just called lineage, so I assumed, but, you know.
Yep.
English is a very irregular language.
Yep.
Nothing makes sense. Just like your face. Gonna force out the noob timber here. Will they finally
Oh,
get the
man.
rat bastard? No, they won't. He gets a spell off, and therefore he's
Sonic
fine.
Wave. They
Glimmer.
just don't have enough.
Jumps away.
He's out of mana-ish. Oh my god, just call GG after that.
They're getting so owned by
Oh,
this support
no.
Slark. They just can't do anything about it.
The song came out.
Oh, man.
Ugh. Yamich now 0 and 13. Whew.
Oh,
Dire's middle tower
It's been a rough
is under
one.
attack.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a hero go 0 and 4 and have this much impact for Joe Cam on Slark?
yeah.
Pretty insane. And you can tell that was just mostly frustration, a chase that
Yeah.
didn't make sense to begin with, and they still get nothing out of it. In fact, they get negative.
Yamich looking for his... Well, getting the Milk Award requires you to win as well, which is looking increasingly unlikely. But if you were to make a chart of which heroes it's most likely to obtain a victory on 0-20, Magnus would be pretty far down my list of heroes that I could even imagine getting that scoreline in a game.
He could achieve the Jenkins, though. Jenkins' old saying used to be, I was playing Pudge and went 0 and 19, lost the game. So there's an award for that, potentially. 5 more deaths, though.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough task to see if he's up to it.
GH gets caught.
Another
nicely.
kill goes the way of Talon. Aghanim Scepter now for Makoto, so he has Black Hole, basically.
And this has to be Magus. You have 30 seconds on Magnus, and Nigma Galaxy don't stand a chance without RP. So,
Radiant's top barracks is falling.
Even with it, they haven't stood much of a chance.
yeah. GH will buy back. 23 Savage with the refresher. All he needs is to get off his BKB, and he can fight freely for 20 seconds without an issue with double Satanic.
Indeed. Ghost can open things up, but there's the BKB. Sonic Wave only going to hit a couple, and 23 Savage has free reign now. Up Satanic #1, doesn't get much out of it, but matters not.
Well, Magnus has respawned, and WS is half HP. Maybe Talon will be a little bit cautious now. Here comes Joachim. Nice precast Yules on the Mag, and Yamich will cash in.
All right.
A 15th death.
4 away from the dream, ladies and gentlemen. As Makoto resetting.
Very late torn. I guess it wasn't cool down there.
I mean, NGX definitely a team that does not call GG early. That is for sure. They sit on the high ground and hope for a miracle.
Makoto gets an X mark refill.
No pun intended.
I didn't hear what you said.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Hex.
Cuckoo. The Lotus applied, but it doesn't matter with the BKB that Cuckoo has on all heroes. Song to reset.
I'll kill Cuckoo with that. That's not bad.
They will get one. Shiva's into the Sonic Wave onto 2. That's a lot of damage, but at this deficit, 32K net worth lead for Talon, 23 Savage can do whatever the hell he wants. Gets relocated there with the skewer. The RP comes out, but the death onto the Magnus straight afterwards. Triple kill for 23 Savage. Make it an Ultra. Give him the Rampage. Why not? Rampage. And the GGs mercifully come out. And we are going to a game number 3.
It's funny to see.
Alrighty.
That's
Two
a hammer.
absolute stomps, and now things get interesting, Cinderin. NGX versus Talon game 3. And Arc Warden. We have been begging for this hero. I will say, though.
Really?
Well,
we've been begging for something else, not Arc Warden.
yeah, sweet release of life, maybe, but
Okay.
especially when I'm around you. But the Arc Warden we were wanting was the other facet, actually, where you actually bring in the runes.
Yeah.
This one is the runed replica. So when you create a Tempest double, they basically automatically get a rune for 12 seconds, which was changed. It was originally for level 1, you got Invis. Now they changed it to Arcane Rune, actually, for level 1.
Yep.
And then level 2 is Arcane and Invis, and level 3 is Arcane, Invis, and Haste.
Yeah, the Arcane instead of Invis should be a lot stronger for the level 6 timing, because now your just overall team fight impact with this hero will be a lot higher, since your Tempest double will be able to cast more spells.
Yep,
G8 will be
that is first blood. So after all
casting
that
many
said,
spells.
yeah, Makoto will get first blood on that mid lane. Tiny.
I'm very curious how the bot lane goes this time. I know everybody's looking at Arc Warden, and of course it will be the second story of the game as well. But we just saw this Bloodseeker Silencer combo be incredibly strong in game number 1. Will it have the same impact in this game and against this lane specifically? So in game number 1, they were against Darkseer Shadow Shaman. This time, it's Bloodseeker Silencer against Tusk Centaur, so you will, at the very least, always be able to get your Blood Rage off, since these heroes will be melee.
Yep.
And then you can just Blood Rage plus curse them. We're seeing that right now, being used onto WS. Like, this is actually just ridiculous damage. And Tusk can't really help him much. So, see how Talon deal with that lane this time around.
Yeah, very bold of Talon to give away that combo again.
Yep.
In this game 3 after game 1. It was literally the reason they snowballed the game. It was just dominant.
Speaking of giving away, they also gave Noob his first pick hero in the Doom. I think it's the only Noob hero that Nigma Galaxy first pick is that one. They seem to be able to make it work even against counter matchups, even in bad situations. They're still one of their best ones. Looking to see him perform here. Now, the mid lane, the Arc Warden against Tiny should be a good lane for Tiny until Arc Warden gets level 6 at the very least. You would expect to win on CS. And on top of that, Makoto also got the first blood bounty. So you'd think Tiny will grab a bit of an advantage here, but so far so good for Sumail.
Yeah, in terms of builds, is this, I mean, I assume Midas, Maelstrom is just
Oh, that's a
standard.
good
Sumail
toss.
toss back into the tower, take a couple pop shots.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to go Midas, and then yeah, I get that you're against Medusa, so it might feel really valuable to go Diffusal Blade, but I honestly think he probably just goes Midas Maelstrom and just farms up a Storm, gets 5 slotted, and then
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter late game to have enough mana burn against the Medusa if you have Arc. This hero has overwhelming single target damage when he's big enough.
Yeah, should mention that the innate for Arc Warden really makes water runes insanely good. Any rune, really. You pick it up and you get 4 seconds of regen. So
True.
doesn't need a bottle or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Because most mid heroes have to opt for that bottle, and that means your ramp-up speed is a lot faster since you can bypass the item. As long as you get a water rune here or there, you should be able to stay afloat. Another toss back onto Sumail in the tower. He's actually taking really big damage this time around.
Yeah, has to go to the north, actually.
Oh, this is not good news for him.
He will get the flux off.
Yeah.
Get the flux out of here.
Doing nothing with that.
Nope. Cuckoo in the meantime, taking some good damage in the top lane.
And Jokem is silenced for a year and will die to a blood grenade here. Oh, he's got stick and fairy, so I guess actually needs to use neither with the tango running, but close call.
It's so funny. You just click 2 Qs and you're just dead, basically. They're going to try to go on top of him now. Nice snowball. Does dodge the blood right. Connecting on the GH, but brings them a lot deeper than they maybe wanted to be. WS getting blocked by creeps in the meantime. We'll pop the stick to stay alive. Jokem will also continue to be low. So, no kills for the NGX side this time around in this lane. Not yet, at least.
Worth noting, Noob is getting crushed up top. 18 for 6 on Medusa to the 5 and 3 Doom.
Oh.
A very one-sided affair. Yamich on the Shaker has not been able to secure Noob all that much farm. He has a big wave coming into his tower now, though, so that will help. As long as he can get at least some of that.
We'll take a dual breath for his troubles, but yeah, gonna get some nice solo XP here.
He's not getting any of the CS, though, but hopes to get a kill on Cuckoo. Don't think this is possible.
That's a little ambitious at this stage.
He had 6 or 7 creeps in tower there and got 1 CS. Just Cuckoo harassing him with the attack speed slows.
Yeah.
It's rough. Silver lining for Noob was he did have the healing Lotus at the very least to get a little bit of the resources back. But yeah, Shaker Doom, just not a good lane. It's definitely one of the weaker laning partners for Doom. You're hoping to get some payoff later in the form of great team fight, of course, and you can get experience. It's not like Noob is getting absolutely crushed in terms of levels, but does not really have anything to write home about in the bank account. Cuckoo's just relentless.
They're going to do it again. And this one will lead to a kill one way or another. Brain drain for GH. I mean, the fact that they survived until 5.5 is actually kind of good news for Talon, I suppose. This is a killer lane.
And WS has 20 CS. It's not bad.
Yeah, especially when you compare it to that Doom, of course. Doubling up. Avalanche from Makoto. Toss back onto the siege. Sumail will survive. Jokem. Maybe.
GH porting mid here.
Gonna use Flux on the Makoto. We got a nice fissure blocking off Cuckoo a bit. As Makoto, with the last word applied along with the Arcane Curse, has to be a bit careful.
Cuckoo as well. He's gonna die probably.
The Cuckoo surrounded and killed. As Jokem blocking off Yamich. Makoto shows up to try to steal that last hit, but Jokem will refuse. All right, and there is Sumail using the first Tempest double of the game.
Oh, he snowballed onto GH, not the wave. That might actually cost him.
He is going to die.
Yeah.
Another brain drain for GH.
Had he snowballed the wave, he might have been able to get out. Just that extra 300 range that GH was able to bring him in. Not ideal, to be sure, there for Jokem. And now that Sumail's level 6, mid lane becomes the epicenter of the game. Like, this is where you want most stuff to happen. Arc Warden is extremely strong when he gets ganked 4. And he's a great hero to slow down as well, so both teams will be putting a lot of emphasis, I would imagine, onto either assisting or disrupting Sumail. This hero is, in a similar fashion to some of the other ultra-late gamers, kind of an attention sponge. If you're playing against Alchemist, you also generally see teams put a lot of focus on blocking Ancients or killing him in lane. Arc Warden kind of fits the same bill, in my opinion. It'll be interesting to see just how much.
Damn, this double silence again. Make it a triple silence, actually. the more the merrier, as he will drop.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I'll say it. This looks miserable to play against.
Yeah, enjoy the pubs.
Yeah. This combination is...
It's something very easy to execute.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about what archetype lane beats this. It's tough to come up with something on the spot. I guess you want to play something double ranged.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, that would certainly help as GH, well, he's going to get punished here. Good attempt from Yamich, but Jokam still on the other side of the fissure.
And also gets the nice D ward. Good control around mid here for Talon. Having the vision advantage on the Radiant Hill is very valuable against Arc.
Radiant are scanning.
Can't even see them doubling down. There's a lot of vision being placed around the mid lane. And now, Sumail could be getting dove here. Joachim is on it.
Yeah, Yamich is ready for this, though. Fissure ready to go. Blocks off Makoto. Sumail. Oh, they're going to get help from the Stampede, though. He is certainly dead. Tempest double still worth a good amount of gold as well as the Rupture comes out as Ghost TP's here. They're going to get Jokam, but the Tiny will survive. Still
Radiant's
two
bottom
supports,
tower is under attack.
probably in Talon's favor to get that mid down in Sumail.
Kind of even, I guess, but you did force the rotations, which is the bigger deal there. Now Makoto might find more with this invis. Oh, missed the toss. Guess Tiny was talking to himself there when he says, "You get nothing."
And Sumail's Midas on the way now.
Yep.
How much of a difference does the switch of the runes make at level 1? Used to be Invis, now it's Arcane.
Let me think for a sec.
Because I don't know if you're getting that much value out of an Arcane rune for the first few levels. WS, fissured up, the double silence again. Make it the triple. Jokam is here, but the global silence.
Quadruple silence.
Yeah, that'll do it. So no snowball save, but Makoto making his way over and a nice toss onto two heroes with the avalanche. They're going to find the support to start. Ghost. Good fissure from Yamich is going to break this up.
Yeah, here comes
Noob
Noob.
making
It's
his
a bit
way.
late.
Yeah, he's
Play
been
is
late.
over.
All game long, it seems. Yeah, Arcane Rune, Cinderin. Not the one he
Radiant's
picked
top
up, but
tower is under
the
attack.
Tempest double.
Yeah, I'm just trying. Let's see. So the cooldown on the spells are Flux is 16, Spark Wraith is 4, and Magnetic Field max out is 17. The Tempest double level 1 is 18 seconds. So I guess you'll get out at least.
This could be a big one. Bloodright is not going to save him.
There'll be
Big
no
kill
trade
for
even.
Talon.
Just an easy TP out here. Sumail arriving won't help. I mean, you get a couple of extra casts off in the fight, and it's... I was mainly looking at the level 6 timing as being a lot stronger, because once again, the teams will be revolving around mid a lot, but haven't really found those big moments just yet, as most fights, Talon have been able to connect on the arc, so can't really benefit much from the duration of Tempest Double when you die within the first 3 seconds of it.
That is true. Looking at Yamich defending this tier 1 for now. Sumail on the cover of smoke. Gonna get that Tempest double up onto Cuckoo. They've already started it off onto Yamich though, and Yamich actually gets the kill before dropping himself. And Jokam gonna hit by a Spark Wraith. Sumail should be able to finish it, although the Flux does absolutely nothing here. And the Spark Wraith will not be dodged in the end. What an annoying spell, man.
I'm trying to remember Arc Warden, because it's been a while since we've seen him. If he casts Tempest Double, either himself or the Tempest Double can use Midas, right?
Yeah.
If the Tempest Double uses it, but always has Arcane Rune, doesn't he get lower cooldown on Midas?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe that's the big benefit then.
I'll try to keep an eye out for that, because if that's the case, then you're effectively ramping up quite a bit faster, but you need to make sure to reserve the Arcane Midas. I'm going to have a look at him if he's saving it right now on this big Centaur. That's a no. That doesn't mean it's wrong, though, that it's better to use it on the clone. Might not have thought about it or just really wanted to get moving here and not use... Obviously, don't necessarily want to use Tempest Double off cooldown, right? It's 18-second duration, 60-second cooldown. So you want to find impact with it. But
yeah, Maelstrom will be next for Sumail. As a smoke from Talon, wrapping around the tier 1 tower. GH might be tanking the gank.
he did.
Very even exchange so far this game. Exactly what we've been wanting to see.
Mid lane, joke him.
There's the Tempest double. Coming out.
Oh, he's just going to walk it off with Phase Boots. As well as Windlace. Well,
The Flux continuing. Spark
try
Ray
anyway.
also. Sumail. Yeah, nice snowball to dodge a bit here, but Sumail's Tempest double about to end.
nice
But
little
the Fissure is
detail
waiting
there.
for him from Yamich.
Placed a Spark Wraith under himself as he was about to die, as he knew he was getting snowballed. So the moment he comes out of the snowball, is greeted by the Wraith there. A Talon will be first to strike in the tower department.
So what was the verdict on the Midas?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you didn't click it then, huh?
How do you mean? What do you mean I didn't click
Oh,
it?
you're talking about the interaction between the two.
I'm saying when you use Spark Wraith, or excuse me, when you use Tempest Double, I would think the Tempest Double using Midas will have lower cooldown because it always has Arcane Rune,
Yeah,
right?
right.
But Sumail so far, from what I've seen, has been using Midas on the main. But what you're asking is whether if the clone can even use it?
Or it can.
I'm pretty sure it can.
Well, okay, maybe I missed a few patches here, Cinderin. They can both use Midas
Yep.
at the same time. This is a 76-second
Oh yeah, so
cooldown.
this one is definitely lower then, right?
Okay.
So these are independent,
Yeah.
and the clone has a lower cooldown.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Apologies for the confusion.
Yeah, you confused me because I
I mean, I genuinely was unsure because I've barely seen this hero for like a year, right? But you're right, it's two independent ones, and the Midas on the clone is just more frequently available, which is kind
Oh
of
boy, toss back. Macro Pyre waiting, noob dead. And that is death. It's actually death number 1. That's shocking considering how bad his game has been so far.
Yeah.
But he's been staying alive, it seems. Only 800 deficit between him and the opposing offlaner in WS, the Centaur.
I will say this
worse.
is honestly a good enough start, I think, for the side of Nigma Galaxy. You're playing against a lineup that has a lot of playmaking potential between Centaur, Tusk, and the Tiny, and even support Jakiro. You're barely behind on gold. Your lineup is a lot greedier. You need to get the... Oh, we'll get one more kill here, it looks like. But, well, it cost them.
Yep, GH takes a tumble.
That
Yamich, a good fissure, blocking everybody, basically.
Omega on the
Tiny
ward.
dies, and next on the list is WS. Echo Slam probably not needed there.
Better safe than sorry. It's a big kill. Getting this
Double
Centaur.
kill for Sumail. Yeah, that is the biggest fight so far we've seen this game.
And keep in mind, this Radiant lineup is slower to build up, right? Your support duo is Silence or Shaker. This is not going to be some, we're going to crush you early on, run around and just gank you nonstop in towers kind of lineup. But the potential late game for Nigma Galaxy is ridiculous between Arc and these two big teamfight supports and Doom. So if you're just floating this mid game and you're keeping it even.
Yeah, GH is going to be food here. He's trying to get up Sentry. That's all he wanted to do, poor guy.
Shaker Blink 400 away. It's a big item to keep an eye on here. Of course, on the side of Talon, 23 Savage is having a totally free game, which is great news for them. Obviously, they'd love to get his Medusa off to a good start. And he'll be paying it back to the team immediately with the Manta mid tower for the taking. Mikoto will grab that as well. Map starting to shrink a little bit here for Nigma Galaxy, losing these tier 1 towers, all 3 of them. Now Noob might be on the receiving end once more. Although the Watcher might have just kept him safe. Nope, he didn't see them.
Yeah, pops the drums, but is stun locked now and dead again. So second death for the Doom, which I don't think we've seen yet, right? The ult?
No.
Just been trying to recover for the most part.
Yeah,
still
we've got
bottom
this
net
blink.
worth of the cores. And there's the blink from Yamich. See if they try to hide this for a bit and group up for a smoke.
Interestingly, between Silencer and Shaker as a support duo as well, if you are to find a good Echo Slam, you know for a fact you can get your full combo off because you can global on top. Sometimes against certain lineups, let's say you blink Echo Slam and they immediately counterplay you in some fashion, whether it's a snowball defense with Blink Dagger or an Ice Path or whatever to combo break you. You know here if Yamich finds a good connection, it's going to be the whole thing. All three back to back. Facet-wise, he chose the same ones he did last time he played Shaker, the Resonating Ridge, so more echo damage too when he fissures. So focusing a bit on the Shaker here because I think he's a very crucial hero for the game for both teams. If you catch the Shaker for Talon, that's great news. However, Nigma Galaxy can structure their fights very much so around Yamich. There's a lot of pressure on him here because they don't really have much catch, right?
Yeah.
Shaker really needs to land spells in order for them to deal their damage.
It's a solo smoke right now for Yamich, and Echo Slam is back up. Wants to get this blink reveal, have the highest impact as possible. On the cliff he goes. Just waiting for the invasion to come from Talon, but we can see that's not to be the case.
No. They're chilling. Big item here for WS. This is a very good pipe game. You're blocking so much damage with this. Shaker, Silencer, Doom, and in particular the Arc Warden, heavily magic damage based as a core hero.
Yeah, and Ghost as well with the Mjolnir.
Yeah, even him, true. So you're going to get full value out of this pipe in every team fight.
Bloodright pure or magic now? It's back to pure again.
Yeah. So is Blood Rage and Rupture, everything pure.
They get the Avatos onto GH, but the Fissure, ooh, actually does buy enough time as Stone Gaze used to try to counteract this Rupture. It's more of a mana drain than anything.
Yep. Mana leak on Medusa. Do you miss that spell?
No.
Okay, which spell? You can have one of two spells in Dota right now. You can either have Lion Mana Drain or Mana Leak.
Well, obviously Mana Leak. What do I care?
You think Mana Leak was less annoying?
Yes.
You are in the smallest minority possible, I think.
Okay.
You're probably the only person in the world that thought Mana Drain from Lion is more annoying to play against than Mana Leak from Kog'Maw.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You are a unicorn.
That's
in the worst way. Jokum, gonna find Ghost.
Yeah, they got the Stampede to follow, but
Global Silence.
Global Silence is going to buy him a little bit of time. Bloodright with the Silence as well. And that's a good disengage as Makoto actually goes in pretty deep. He's going to get doomed if he's not careful, but they get the stun the last moment onto this poor Doom. Goodness gracious, can't do a thing this game. Sumail able to force staff to the high ground. His double will die.
I feel like Noob hesitated a little bit there. He actually pump faked the Doom, I think, once onto the Tiny.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Would have been better off just hard committing, and now Ghost, too, will get caught off.
And he's still down here, and he will die.
Oh, this is a little bit ugly.
For Talon.
I thought that was going to end better for Nigma, considering they got the global save off. The Doom comes in with Crimson and Drums right. I don't even know if he used the Crimson.
And they still have Echo.
Yep. Just didn't find an angle for their heroes, and
I feel like Nigma's issues are, in general, they are very inconsistent. That was just like a discombobulated fight. Communication not there. Obviously, they have a stand-in and whatnot, but yeah, it feels like it's night or day, depending on the hour. Which
that's correct.
Is true at all times.
Yep. That's very deep.
Thank you. Hurricane Pike finish for Sumail. What would you like to see on him next? BKB?
I think Mjolnir. He's eyeing up Travels first, but I think BKB would probably be a mistake. I think you need to focus a little bit more on ramping up your damage to pose more of a threat, and then trust in your supports to cover for you with the global and the stuns from Shaker. But Travels, I think Travels is a good choice too. I just hope this isn't a signal that Nigma Galaxy are saying we can't fight them, because I think that's just wrong. With better execution, they are definitely capable. And of course, Arc Warden loves split pushing, so it makes sense. It's good for ramp up a farm. Now Talon will grab themselves the Roche here. So let's see who gets the Aegis. Will be 23 Savage, not 33 Savage, although he might also be a Savage, who knows. I'm curious to see how this gets put to use. Some games Medusa goes high ground with this
Dire's
one.
top tower is under
It's an
attack.
amplified damage in the river for Mikoto.
Radiant are
I think 23
scanning.
Savage will at least just start on mid tower. I don't see why not. But playing it very safe here. I don't even think Nigma would have tried to defend
Radiant's
this
middle
one.
tower is under
Yeah,
attack.
I doubt it.
But all right. He's heading south.
Aegis they have, so tier 2 tower. He will show up for,
Radiant's
poke at it a
bottom
few
tower
times, and they'll
is
get
under
it.
attack.
Scotty looks to be
Dire's
next.
top
He
tower
has the butterfly
Dire's
intact,
top tower has fallen.
which is insanely good this game against both Bloodseeker and Arc Warden, which would beg the question, are you forced to go MKB? I think so, at some point. Or perhaps you just ignore her anyway for now.
I mean, that question can be posed for both teams, right? Arc Warden is also going to have the magnetic fields.
I mean, you could go... I mean, you're going to need MKB at some point probably. But
Radiant's middle
well,
tower
is there
under
any
attack.
way that he can fit a Diffusal into Disperser?
On Arc?
Yeah, having a double Disperser.
Yeah, the panel was talking
Pretty
about
good.
that as an option. I definitely think it is possible, but the problem is then you're better against Medusa, but I think you're worse against everyone else. And buying the Disperser also kind of sucks when you don't have the True Strike, because then you're not getting full value anyway. So
Yeah, you'll need both in that
I
case.
think you get Mjolnir, Bloodthorn. Probably.
Well, he's
and then,
had Mjolnir for a while.
no, he just has Maelstrom.
Oh, he changed his mind. I see.
So I think Mjolnir, Bloodthorn, and then maybe BKB. I'm not sure about the
Radiant's
order,
middle tower is
but I think
under
that
attack.
inventory sounds really good to me here.
Okay.
Jokum, gonna catch
Got
Noob.
another sighting of Noob. Has yet to use his ultimate, I think. There's a big Echo Slam coming out from Yamich on the sideline. They're able to take out one support, Cuckoo, with the TP attempt, but Enchant Totem will put that to an end. So 2 for
Radiant's
nothing.
middle tower is under
Kind of
attack.
deleting a little bit of time off this Aegis, in a way. But of course, 23 Savage doesn't remind too much. He loves to farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
He will continue to extend this net worth lead. Mikoto caught off guard, though, as the TP. Gleipnir used to be the
Yep.
choice for this hero. No longer part of Maelstrom, though. Probably another reason we haven't seen that hero in quite a while. Okay, they find a connection on 23 Savage. What can they do? 3
Run away.
versus 1, nothing. That's pretty absurd. Yeah, Medusa Butterfly is something else, man.
Yeah.
That's a pretty ginormous power spike for the hero.
Of course, the new Scotty. Kind of interesting. For the Medusa, the all attributes.
Looks like Sumail is going Disperser.
Oh, will he? Okay. So he is going that over Mjolnir, actually. So he changed his mind again. And he has committed officially. He's bought some components now.
Okay.
So at least the Diffusal. I'm not sure he's going to build the full Disperser first.
Dire.
I don't mind it. I'm not fully convinced this is the best possible option. But it's definitely, it's not a bad build on Arc, especially against Medusa. It's like a feeling of the flow of the game that this could come back to bite him because he's not going to kill the other heroes fast enough.
The thing is, it's always this choice of, do we go all in on Medusa or we kill everybody else first? If you
Yeah.
try to go all in on Medusa, I'm not saying this is going to happen sooner, but it should, okay? The horse cart. They
true.
genuinely have that as an option, as like a fail-safe save against all of this, you know, counteracting
That's true.
on the Medusa. So untargetable for, what is it, like 8 seconds or 6 seconds on a Medusa? That might be, trying to think of a better hero to have in the cart than Medusa.
I remember seeing a clip of Collapse and Radon pulling that off together. Just driving the Medusa through the enemy team with split shot. With the I think that build he might even have had Ags in that game. Which will of course be part of 23 Savage's ultimately completed build. He's not planning for it now, even though he has Scotty. I think the Ags value proposition is heavily tied to Mjolnir. So buying it when you only have Scotty as an orb might not be good enough.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And goes the last remaining outer tower. Talon will take that, but their Aegis has expired now. So what are you going to do next? Play map control or try to find a pick into maybe even a little bit of sieging? Samel's clone here. They're not interested in that, it seems.
Bottom tower is under attack.
I missed the shard that would, if enemies were in the bubble, they'd get forced out. That was cool.
Radiant's middle
All
tower
right, so
is
Talon,
under
do they
attack.
wait for the next
Dire's bottom
Aegis?
tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I think they might just feel like they have to.
They're going to poke here at the very least.
Yeah.
23 Savage alone.
Dire's bottom tower is
But
under
it is a
attack.
Medusa, so
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
gonna be able to dispel the arcane curse as Ghost. Trying to farm the other side of the map. He's gonna get off his BKB. They have the Walrus Punch, the global silence. He's gonna try to fight his way out of this. One more right click will suffice for Makoto. Oh, his arms are too heavy, but the Blink Dagger is there
Bomb
for
spaghetti.
Jokam.
Oh. Never mind.
Yep, good one.
Thought you'd like
60
that.
seconds of no Bloodseekers, so
Although
now
you
they
of
can
course don't
do.
get that reference because you don't listen to
No,
music.
I do. That's Eminem. That's one I do know.
The
20
only M&M you know is the ones with peanut flavor. 23 Savage. Gonna continue the push.
Yeah, there's no reason to stop now. Trying to force out this buyback, which we can see is not a thing. I'm gonna use the fortification now. Delay, delay, delay. Crimson Guard even used to...
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Wait, does that bubble thing... Does that not work anymore?
On buildings?
Yeah, did he just miss it? It used to be a delay tactic as well.
Damn, this somehow sounds familiar to me that it doesn't, but I'm actually not confident. Again, it's just so much about RP.
Oh, Makoto with the BKB. He's going to get the toss back, and that is a dead silencer. So GH on the deck for 40. They're going to get the melee racks as Talon
Radiant's top barracks
just
are under
casually
attack.
taking this game through. I thought this was going to be competitive.
Well, so far, not so good for the side of Nigma Galaxy. Perhaps
Radiant's
a little
middle
bit
tower
too
is under
greedy.
attack.
Yep.
Seemingly incapable of having enough damage to take a fight, and the very limited amount.
We
of
haven't seen
access
Doom
they
yet
have.
still.
Yeah, have they been? You're right.
Have
they
we
haven't
seen?
cast.
We've seen one Rupture, I think.
I've seen very few ruptures, 0 Dooms, 1 Echo. Not really been too many successful moves here.
Just fallen flat, it seems. Now they're just sitting in their base, waiting for the eventual push to come from Talon.
Scanning.
And Aegis, or Roche, I should say, is actually a super fast spawn. That was within 5 seconds. And it will be a
Talon.
Centaur Ags next, Cinder, and God, I'm good.
Yep. Truly incredible foresight.
Thank you.
Almighty money.
All right, Nigma Galaxy are smoked. This is not a drill, and Samel has Boots of Travel level 2.
Radiant are
They
scanning.
want to do something. He's ready to travel.
His inventory is just not inspiring, Cinder.
That is correct.
Maelstrom Diffusal.
Yeah, he has neither of the upgraded versions, so rather pitiful output.
Yeah, they're just... They absolutely cannot kill Medusa. They got to go for other people. But the problem is you have Stampede to get away. Oh, boy.
They got him.
Oh, boy.
Attack.
Yikes.
Well,
Back to base.
the good news is Nigma Galaxy showed determination.
In your face.
They were very
Wow.
committed. Instant Echo Global. They threw everything at him. Unfortunately, it wasn't real.
Wow.
But everybody sees ghosts sometimes, Shannon, and it's not about the ghosts themselves. It's about how do you deal with it.
Man alive. I don't think I've seen a failed gank that bad in quite a while. That was something else.
I mean, you just go straight high ground here. There's
Yeah,
2 big cooldowns on
absolutely.
ultis. You have Aegis on Dusa, who's already invincible.
GH getting hounded by Makoto.
He's going to die again. They have Yule. He can't TP out. He's just going to Yule him up here.
Does have it.
And bonk.
There's some slow-ass attacking, I'll tell you what, but he'll get the kill eventually.
Oh, they might get more Yamich.
Yep, Ghost and company, they want a nice enchant totem onto 2. They're going to be able to take out the Jakiro to start this fight as Ghost stun locked, though. Walrus punched in the air. Crimson Guard
Oh, so now
not
missed
going to
the
save
bubble.
him. The See if we can get a Doom cast at some point this game. Just throw it out, even on a creep. Anything will do at this point. Yamich gonna get forced after the high ground. Now the high ground is about to get demolished.
Yeah, here comes the real challenge. You have no Bloodseeker for 50 seconds. Tempest double on cooldown. 23 Savage. Fearless. And why wouldn't he be? After all, they've been unable to kill him all game. He has the whopping, unbelievable score of 1-0-3.
Yep, unstoppable.
About to win the game. Love some good old Medusa gameplay.
I'm honestly surprised he even got a kill this game.
Yeah, that's shocking. So Mel, gonna try to poke him a bit. You see the damage, you see the potential there. That's just the clone.
Yeah.
Taking out his entire mana pool, as a matter of fact.
Yep, they're gonna try to
The
fight here,
toss
try to
back.
get that first life, but Yamich already dead. No echo used. Has buyback though.
So Mel with the double bubble. Talon trouble.
Now going for the Megas. Makoto actually did hit the Avalanche. Will pop the BKB. There's the global silence, but pretty much no fall. Hey, a Doom was used by Noob onto Tusk, who just blinks away. And now they're going to get the Aegis, as Doom will ultimately fall here. And he evaporates. Oh my god, that Echo Slam hit nothing. All right, it's time to just call it GG. This was really bad. Whew. Talon just dominating. As the fight will continue. Joe came in the midst of things pretty low. Snowball gonna keep him alive. Stampede as well. They're gonna be greeted on top of Ghost, who dies. No way to get back. Now the MKB to counter this bubble, which hasn't really been that big of a deal, for being perfectly honest. The GGs come out, and Talon, they win game 3 convincingly, just like they won game 2. I don't know. I mean, NGX, we've talked about them being super inconsistent. It does feel like in the first game, they caught Talon off guard.